The ability to persuasively communicate your ideas is the single greatest skill that will help you accomplish your dreams in the next 10 years. Well, good morning. Thanks. I love a little music at 8 o'clock. Awesome. Thank you. So today we're going to talk about the Apple experience, and I want to thank you for inviting me to help you grasp some of these ideas that I know will help you reimagine, revitalize, perhaps reinvent the way you do customer experience and the customer service in your stores or at your departments. As Bill mentioned, I am a communication skills coach, which means I work with executives to help them tell their stories. And yes, as Bill suggested, I do work with brands that touch your life every day, from computers to medical devices to oil and energy and gas, but also to a lot of agribusiness companies, the products that you stock. And so I have this amazing opportunity to learn from some of the most inspiring speakers and some of the most inspiring leaders in the world, including people who elevate the customer experience, especially like people like Richard Branson, who I interviewed for Forbes. I do a lot of work for Forbes. I interviewed Richard Branson a couple of weeks ago, and I was really inspired by the fact that inspiring leaders like Branson, who have built brands that separate themselves from the rest of the competition when it comes to customer service, they are abundantly passionate and committed to elevating the customer experience. I want to show you just a short clip from a much longer interview that I did with Richard Branson, because this is the way great leaders talk. This is the way great leaders sound, especially those who are committed to customer service. Let me set up this clip briefly by saying I started this interview by asking him, what's the difference? What's the difference between any airline company or a coffee shop or a supermarket? There's so much noise out there. How do you separate your brand from the others? That's the way I set up this particular interview. Let's listen to what Branson had to say.
Yeah, look, anybody can sell a cup of coffee. Anybody can buy a physical aeroplane, and we all buy the planes from the same manufacturers, so Boeing or Airbus. So, but they're the different stops. I mean, if you fly on a Virgin plane, whether it's Virgin Atlantic, Virgin America, Virgin Australia, you're going to have a completely different experience than if you...
What is the difference, the differentiation between Virgin America and all of these other domestic airlines that we see here? And I know it's more than the in-flight entertainment. I know it's more than the Wi-Fi. I think, in my opinion, it's got to be the customer service. Am I wrong?
Everything in the end comes down to customer service and the people who are serving you, and whether they're proud of the company, and the only way that you can actually have people working on in a company that are proud of it is if you give them the tools, give them every little detail.
Is customer service really the differentiator moving forward?
Look, I think that. I mean, all right, let's give you an example. When we started Virgin Atlantic 30 years ago, we had one 747 competing with airlines that had an average of 300 planes each. Every single one of those airlines have gone bankrupt because they didn't have customer service. They had might, but they didn't have customer service. So customer service is everything in the end.
Good. I love that. Customer service is everything in the end. Okay. We were talking about creativity too. Where does he come up with new ideas? He said one of the best ways to learn is by taking your team members out of their comfort zone and embracing new ideas. In other words, get out of the office. You're not going to learn anything by staying in the office all the time. Steve Jobs knew this too. I've written a couple of books on Steve Jobs, and now my most recent one is just all about the Apple Store. I spent a year researching the Apple Store and its customer service. Steve Jobs said creativity is connecting things. That simply meant that a broad set of experiences leads to innovations that other people may have missed. Well, Steve Jobs did this his whole life, constantly exploring new and unrelated things and applying those ideas from different fields to Apple products in the Apple Store. In fact, during my year-long research into the Apple